All right, so which situation is number one? Very good, side angle side. So when you have side angle side, the only thing you can find is the side opposite the angle you give, or they give you. So we're looking for side C. So we're going C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2 times A times B times the cosine of angle C. So this is the easy one, much quicker, okay? Because I can put all of that in my calculator and then just take the square root to find side C. Move this over here. All right, so 18 squared plus 40 squared minus 2 times 18 times 40 cosine 82.5. All right, you get that big number. But remember, that's what C squared is. So hit second squared for square root, second negative sign, right, Olivia, for answer. And we get 41.7. Okay? So, we use law of sines now to finish up. When it says solve a triangle, you got to find the 3 missing pieces, right? Some of you stopped right here. You did this part right, but then you stopped. Okay, you're not done. You got to find the rest of the missing pieces. All right? So what did we say? Do we find angle A or angle B whenever we go from law of cosines to law of sines? A, the smaller one, right? How do we know A is smaller? The angles, the side's smaller, right? The angle is opposite the side. The smaller side means smaller angle, all right? So we're going to go sine of 82.5 for the C, because that's what we knew over what we just figured out. And then sine of angle A over side A, which is 18. Okay? So I'm going to go 18 times the sine of 82.5 divided by 41.7. Cross multiply. Remember, we're back to law of sines. Close it up. You get that decimal. That's not the angle. What do I got to do at this point? Inverse sine, right? Because we're looking for the angle. So second sine, second answer, the negative sign. And it's 25.3 degrees. Now, I have 2 angles. How do I find the third? Add them together, subtract from 180. So I already have the 25.3 in there, right? So go plus 82.5, and then go 180 minus that answer. That'll give you 72.2. Because you need to know all 3 angles. We know angle A, B, and C now. And we know all 3 sides, A, B, and C. You got to have all 3 angles, all 3 sides to finish, to have it solved. Any other questions on that first example? Making sense. So remember, law of cosines we want to use once. Then we're going to use law of sines to finish. Okay? And always go for the smaller remaining angle when you go from law of cosines to law of sines. Now, when we do number 2, that worked, yeah, good. Oh, here's the answers. All right, when we have side situation, what did I tell you yesterday? Which one do you find? YA. Yeah. The largest one you have to find. Start. When you have the side situation. All right, so A is the biggest side, so we're going to find angle A. Okay, so we're going to go A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2 times B times C times the cosine of angle A. Now this one we got to do, we can't put it all in the calculator, right? 18 squared is 324, 10 squared is 100, 9 squared is 81, and 20 times 9 is 180, cosine of A. All right, so this 181, again, you don't have to write all of this out, but I'm going to do all of it at once. Okay, you cannot subtract the 180 from 181, because this is 180 times the cosine of A, right? So I got to subtract the 181 over and divide by the negative 180. Okay? When I solve for the cosine of A. And I'm going to dividing by that. All right, so 324 minus 181. Is 143. Divided by negative 180. Negative 0.79. All right, so I'm at this point. How do I find A? Inverse cosine, because it's the law of cosine. So don't hit second sine, because we're using law of cosine, second cosine. Second answer. Second cosine, second answer. We get 142.6 degrees. Okay? We got my angle A. Look back at the side lengths. Which angle am I going to find now using law of sine? C. It's smaller. Right? Every time we go from law of cosines to law of sines, we go for the smaller one. Okay? So we're going to do sine of, what did we just get? 142 point something? 142.6 over 18, side A. And then sine of angle C over 9. Okay? So 9 times the sine of 142.6. Let's move this over so I see what I'm doing here. 9 sine 142.6 divided by 18. Since it's sine of C equals that, I go second sine. Second answer. 17.8. So I'm going to add the 142.6 to that. And then subtract from 180 for the third angle. 19.7 for B. So I solved that. I had to find the 3 angles. Is that what the answers were? 19.7, 17.7, mine were 17.8. Questions? Law of cosine. Simple. You can do it. No problem. Easy. Easy quiz. When? Tuesday. Questions?
There's such thing as a law of tangent.
No. Good. Now, pre-calc, you'll get into some more trig stuff, and you'll have trig identities and things like that. So you'll learn some more stuff, and you'll look at the graphs of sine, cosine, and tangent and stuff. But we don't do that here. All right, so number one, Q was 9.1, angle P was 40.5 degrees, angle R was 59.5 degrees. For number two, side P is 25, angle Q was 15 degrees, angle R was 42 degrees. Number three, side R was 11.6, angle P was 40.3 degrees, angle Q was 50.7 degrees. Number four, angle P was 25.2 degrees, angle Q was 96.4 degrees, and angle R was 58.4 degrees. Number five, angle P was 43.2 degrees, angle Q was 86.5 degrees, angle R was 50.3 degrees. Number six, angle P was 56.3 degrees, angle Q was 29.9 degrees, and angle R was 93.8 degrees. Let's stop right there. Any of those six you'd like me to go over? Yes. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Number seven was 9 minutes. And number eight was 82,795 square feet. Oh, area, don't worry about that. Number eight, we didn't worry. There is a formula we can use for area, but we didn't get to those. We're not worried about those. All right. Questions on seven, maybe?
Number eight.
Eight, we're not worried about, because we're not going to worry about the area. Yeah. So number seven said, a triangular, they get a picture of it, a triangular hiking trail. Looks like this. Kind of. And it was, should have been a little bit wider, I guess, but this is 100 degrees. This was 410 meters and 200 meters. So it's a side angle side situation. And it says an average walking speed of 2 meters per second. That's not right. Yeah, that's probably right. 2 meters per second. How many minutes will it take a hiker to make a complete circuit around the triangular trail? Okay. So we got to find the length of this side. This is what we're looking for, right? Then I can figure out how far it is. Just add up the three sides, right? And then divide by 2 to see how many seconds it takes. And then we can change it to minutes if we want. All right, so we're going to go, 400. We'll call it a question mark. Question mark squared equals 200 squared plus 410 squared minus 2 times 200 times 410 times the cosine of 100. So that's the one that you can put all in your calculator. We'll put it over here. All right, so 200 squared plus 410 squared minus 2 times 200 times 410 cosine of 100. Take the square root of that, remember. So 486, we'll round it to 486. And then we'll 410 and 200. All right, so we got 1,096 is one time around, meters. If we divide by 2, that's how many seconds. That's how many, how far we went per second, right? Because it said 2 meters per second. Because we're looking for how long. All right, so that's how many seconds. So if I divide that by 60, that'll give me the number of minutes, right? That make sense? So divided by 60, so 9 minutes, a little over 9 minutes. And that was the answer. To get around that trail. So they're walking pretty fast. Probably 2 steps per second, right? Steps about a meter. Meter is a little over 3 feet. All right. So today, another worksheet for homework. Just do the odds. All right. So give you a little more practice. Worksheet 13.6B, the odds. Okay? Don't have to do all of them. I don't know if I can find it.